Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight we are round 12, I believe, of Tier 2 in UFRL. And tonight we are racing in Abu Dhabi. Normally the last race on the calendar season. But for tonight, it is round 12 for Tier 2. So the standings are at the moment, Ghosts has extended his lead to 42 points now from Energy Dan, who is now P2. Salty Stevens has gone down to P3 now, missing the last 2 races. So Salty Stevens now in the Mercedes down to P3. P4 is now F1 Viva, who is 47, and then there's a big gap to 5th, who is Mr. Potwash in the McLaren. Gandalf currently 6th with Hybrid 7th. Mr. Wiggles is 8th. 9th is Cluja 40 in the Williams. And round out the top 10 is Brewdog, who has missed quite a few races as well. So we have 18 drivers tonight. I will go through them with you right now. So we have got in the Hasses, we have Energy Dan, and he is the only Hass driver tonight. We have the 2 McLarens of Mr. Potwash and the Tier 3 driver who actually hasn't driven in Tier 3 too much this season. We've got Doug in the other McLaren, which I'm quite glad about because he's got some serious pace this season. So I'm quite glad he hasn't been driving in Tier 3. In the Mercedes, we have Salty Stevens and VFX Instant, who is another Tier 3 reserve driver for tonight. Then we have the 2. We have just one Ferrari tonight. Sorry, it's just PVR Widget, who is another Tier 3 reserve driver. So we have no proper Tier 2 Ferrari drivers tonight. We have the 2 Red Bulls of Mr. Wiggles and Filthy Ghost, very consistent drivers. They're here most weeks. We have the 2 Aston Martins of Hybrid and Angry Badger. We have the 2 AlphaTaris of F1 Viva and Beast. We have the 2 Alpines of Madge and Algari. We have the 2 Williams of the Vicar and Glue, who is again another Tier 3 reserve driver for tonight. We have the 2 Alfa Romeos of Gandalf and Mindful Wasp. And that is the 18. So we're missing a Ferrari driver and we're missing a Haas driver for tonight. So we're on board with Energy Dan, who's just on his outlap. So, the first person to start his outlap is Gandalf. Gets out really quickly, so we're going to stay on board with him at the moment. He always seems to be one of the first. Him and his teammate Mindful Wasp always seem to be one of the first people to set a time, which worked really well from him in Mexico last week. So Gandalf's first sector is a 17.6. What did Mindful Wasp go? We have missed that, but he is just behind Gandalf. Might get a good slipstream here as well. Have to wait and see if he has any luck gaining some time down this straight. We'll go to Angry Badger. Let's see what his sector 1 time is going to be. It is a 17.5. So as Gandalf sets a sector 2 time of a 53.3. So Gandalf now around the final couple corners, and the benchmark is gonna be, it's going to be a 1:23.4. Mindful Wasp is going to cross the line, and he goes a 1:23.5. Let's go. Sorry, we're going to go back this way. Sorry, we're going to go to Energy Dan, who is, I think, about to cross the line as well. Energy Dan now crosses the line, and it's a 1:24.2, puts in P3. Mr. Wiggles now, let's go on board with him. Massive shout out to Mr. Wiggles, who I think did set up the lobby tonight, so thank you for that, Mr. Wiggles. Angry Badger sets a time of a 1:24.6, and Mr. Potwash goes up to P3 with a 1:23.6. Mr. Wiggles now round the last corner, and he's going to set a time of a 1:23.9, puts in P4. We're going to go to Doug, who has got a driver who is actually not on a lap, so we won't worry too much about it. Hybrid has gone on to set of mediums, obviously getting a bit of practice in. We're going to stay on. We're going to go find someone else, actually. Mr. Beast has set a time of 1:24.3. Madge also set a time of 1:24.3. And the Vicar goes up to P5 with 1:24.1. So no one at the moment getting close to the Alfa Romeos. Filthy Ghost now setting a sector 2 time of a 52.7. Obviously your championship leader here. Someone needs to stop him. He needs to not have such a good race for the other top drivers, because he's got a 40-point lead now as he goes wide, and he will invalidate this lap now. Let's go on board with Glue, which it could not be. I haven't commented on every single one of these races, but I haven't seen Glue in the tier 2 race before, so this could be one of his first goes in the higher tiers. Again, doing really well in tier 3. But he's actually not set a time. He hasn't used his ERS, so he's obviously just having another out lap. We're going to go on board with Doug, though. Actually, he is coming into the pits. Glue sets time of 1:27 flat, but he was not using ERS, so... So, still leading the way, it is the 2 Alfa Romeos of Gandalf and Mindful Wasp. PVR widget has moved out the way. Gandalf goes quicker with 1:23.1 now. So Gandalf flying on this. I don't even know if he pitted or that. He must have pitted, and he has gone even quick. No, he hasn't. It's the same tyre, so he's done really well there, and he's gone a 1:23.1. So these tyres are lasting. People are doing a flying lap, then recovering for a lap, and then going for another one. Because Mr. Potwash is doing the exact same thing. I'm not too sure if Mr. Potwash is actually on a lap, though. No, he's not. I thought he was going very slow there. Mr. Wiggles now. Is he going to set a better time? Currently a 1:23.9. Let's see if he can improve. He does improve. He goes P2 with a 1:23.2. Really close to Gandalf, but Mr. Wiggles goes up to P2. Let's go on board with PVR widget now. Or is Glue... No, PVR widget is probably going to... He is on a lap, so hopefully Glue will know this and will get out the way, as he is not on a flying lap. He has got out the way. He just took the bit of an odd route, but he has got out the way of PVR widget. PVR widget on his way now into sector 3. As PVR widget now is going to be around the final corner now. And he is going to cross the line. And it's a 1:24.6. Puts him P9. He'd be pretty happy with that so far. We're going to go on board with Mindful Waslow, who I'm not sure if he is improving. He is in Sector 3 now, using his ERS, so he is on a flying lap. What can he do? Can he knock his teammate off the top spot? Mindful was now round the final corner. And he is going to cross the line. And he goes quickest with a 1:23.0. Puts him now P1. Great lap from him. And he now goes P1. Can anyone get in the 1:22s? That's the question. Energy Dan is also going quicker now. Just going to go down a bit further just to see if anyone is on a lap closer. Hybrid's going to cross the line, but obviously he is just on his mediums. Doug is also on a flying lap. Viva is also on a flying lap at the moment. But we're going to go back to Energy Dan because he is the closest, and he is 7 tenths up. So at the moment, he will probably be going to P4. Has kept it nice and clean. Round the last corner now. Got enough ERS to... And he is going to cross the line. And it's a 1:23.3. Puts him P4. Just behind Mr. Wiggles now. We're going to go down to Doug. Who, like I said, is on a flying lap. And Doug now, he's going to cross the line. And it's a 1:23.2. Puts him P5. A great lap from Doug. I also miss Madge in the Alpine. He has gone up to P2. And look how close he is to the Alfa Romeo. An outstanding lap from Madge. Came out of nowhere. We're going to go on board with Viva, who is currently in Sector 2. Viva now in Sector 3. Let's see what he can do. And Viva now, he loses the back end a tiny bit. He will cross the line and goes P7 with 1:23.5. Probably lost a tenth or two in that last corner. Otherwise, he would have been closer to the likes of Doug and Energy Dan. But he goes P7. Is any of the people in the mid-pack on the laps? So Mr. Potwash and the Vicar has moved out the way, so Mr. Potwash is on a flying lap. I think Energy Dan is. He's set about the same time. Gandalf is also on a lap, so we're going to go on board with Gandalf because obviously the top three really close. So I know it only says about 0.070, but that can put him up to P1 really. It's going to be really close. Can he have a better third sector? 5 minutes left in the session. Round the final corner now. And he's going to cross the line. And it's a 1:23.075. Puts him P2. Look how close it is for the top spot. Wow. Gandalf's going to probably have to come in and go for another set of tyres. Unless he's doing what he did last time. Because he's on the fresh tyres. It did work well for him last time. So, as Pesci has I don't know, he said some Spanish stuff, and unfortunately I cannot talk Spanish, so I'm not even going to try to say what he just wrote. So but we're going to go. Mr. Potwash actually went up to P6 as well, but I missed that. Mr. Potwash now up to P6. We're 123.3. Angry Badger currently in Sector 1. We're going on board with Beast, who is going quicker as well. Currently at 124.3. As he has come into the pits. As Pesci just said, neither can I. Just felt the passion. I see. You wrote it really well. It sounds like you're like fluent in Spanish. Madge has actually retired from the session. I think he did it in the pits, but he has retired. Let's go on board with Mr. Wiggles, who is on a flying lap. As Mr. Wiggles is about the same time as he was in his last lap. A tiny bit quicker, but at the moment he won't be getting close to the top 3. PVR Widget has retired from the session. Not sure if he had an accident. He has spun. And unfortunately, that is PVR Widget's qualifying over. Mr. Wiggles now, he's going to cross the line. And it's going to be a 122.9. Puts in P1. A great third sector from Mr. Wiggles. And he is the first driver into the 122s. Gandalf is going slower at the moment. Has he got enough time to come in? He hasn't. Gandalf probably won't be getting pole. He is going to cross the line. So unless he has a really good final sector, he goes P2 with a 122.9. He had such a good final sector. And look how close he is to Mr. Wiggles. But Mr. Wiggles does just about keep P1 at the moment. So Saucy Stevens and Filthy Ghost are going to do one flying lap here. And they are currently P16 and 17. Two of the, well, obviously your championship leader and Salty Stevens, who's P3, they're taking a big risk here. They're going to have one lap. Doug now in Sector 3. Doug currently P5 from his teammate, Mr. Potwash, sorry. Let's see if Doug can go quicker. It looks like he is. He is. He goes up to P. He stays P5, sorry, 123.1. Let's go on board with Viva. He is just about to start his flying lap, so we're going to go down to Filthy Ghost, who will be on a flying lap. Let's see what his Sector 2 time is going to be. It's a 53.2. Hybrid goes up to P6 with a 123.2. Splits the two McLarens. Filthy Ghost now round the couple last corners. Can the Filthy Ghost get anywhere near pole? Can he get near his teammate? That is the question. Filthy Ghost now, he's going to cross the line. He doesn't go pole. He only goes P5. Filthy Ghost is P5 only. Salty Stevens now. He is still in Sector 1. So let's go find if anyone is closer. Viva is just in Sector 2. Everyone is in Sector 2 at the moment. Is Mr. Potwash. Everyone is in Sector 2. So we're going to have to wait just a minute to see if anyone can get close. I think Viva will be the next person. just. He is going quicker, just. Remember, in his last flying lap, he did lose the back end a tiny bit. So he probably does have 2 attempts here to gain just in this last sector. Can he hold back end this time? He does. And Viva's going to cross the line. Goes P6. We're 1:23.1. We're going to go down to Salty Stevens, who goes P4. He does go ahead of Ghost, and he is now up to P4. We're going to go to Glue, who's just come into the pits. Mr. Potwash, I think, is going to cross the line. He won't be going quicker. Hybrid pits. And VFX is he going to go quicker? No, he isn't. So that is qualifying over. As Merck said, he said, Doug, my idol, wins by 20 seconds. Please, my love. He does a good job, though. P8. He'll be really happy with that. And again, anything can happen in the race. So maybe your dreams will come true. Google Translate came in clutch. Yes, now I understand. You just cheated your way to Spanish. Yeah, it was a very, very close qualifying. Only 2 drivers got in the 122s, but look how close the likes of Mindful Wasps, Salty Stevens and Madge got to that 122 mark. Should be a great race. So, Salty Stevens will be happy because his rival, Filthy Ghost, is down in P6. And Energy Dan, they'll also be happy with that, who's currently P2, down in P11 for Energy Dan. So, if you are listening tonight, drivers, remember we are taking a 5-minute break now. I'm just going to go get myself a quick drink. Remember, just a 5-minute break before we do get ahead and racing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. And if anyone would like to know, I know you're obviously not driving at the moment, everyone, but the football results at the moment in the Premiership are Forest 0, Arsenal 0 at half-time. You've got Fulham 0, Everton 0, Luton 3, Brighton 0. Yep, you heard that right. Luton 3, Brighton 0. Palace 1, Sheffield United 2. And Villa 0, Newcastle 0. So some big results there in the football, especially Luton-Brighton. Luton currently out of the relegation zone with this win. As UFRL Merck says, Luton scored 2 in the first 3 minutes. So I wonder if the other Red Bull driver of Mr. Wiggles can win it tonight. Mr. Wiggles P1, and it was a great lap from him. Just about beats Gandalf for that pole position, and he'll be hoping to be able to keep that P1. Obviously last week had that DNF. Not sure still what happened in that, but he will be hoping to recover from that and try and get the race win tonight. It's quite a tough track on your tyres. Be interested to see if anyone does try and go for a medium soft strategy, or it will be a medium to hard strategy. Again, some really quick corners which are going to really affect your tyres. And also the likes of safety cars might change this as well. So we will be underway very shortly, as we are going to have 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are underway. Mr. Wiggles has a really good start. Gandalf has a bit of a wobble. We are going to go to tyre strategy. And Gandalf now currently down in P4 already. Had a really wiggly start there, and he is down in P4. And he has got Madge right on the back of him. Madge might take this position as well. Gandalf just about has it. Really struggling at the start of this race, Gandalf. And he is actually losing 2 positions now. Not sure if he's got damage, but he is he's down in P7 now. Salty Stevens gone really aggressive here with a set of softs at the start of this race. 3 drivers have gone for the hards, and the Vicar also on the softs. I'm not sure. I think Gandalf might have damage here, you know. He's really struggling at the moment. Doesn't look like he has damage. And Hybrid is out with his teammate. Both Aston Martins are out of this race. What has happened there? Have the two got collided with each other? It looks like they have. The 2 Aston Martins have collided with each other. Again, I'm not too sure, but they are right next to each other on the track. I did not actually see what happened because I was at the top of the field. But Angry Badger and Hybrid are out of this race. Doug has pitted, so does he have damage? We'll have to wait and see. He does. Doug did get damage on the first lap. Algari also coming into the pits. And we have a full course safety car. It said a virtual, but it has changed, and we are now in a full course safety car. So if anyone does know what happened to the Aston Martins, please do let me know in the Twitch chat. So making up the positions, Energy Dan has a great start, and he has moved up 5 positions, the same as Mr. Potwash. The biggest losers are Gandalf and Doug, who have lost 6 and 7, with Filthy Ghost losing 3 spots as well. But look at the moves from Mr. Potwash and Energy Dan. Viva will be really happy as well, because he has actually stayed P7 on them set of hards. So he's done really well to carry on. This is what the tyres look like. Obviously Algari and Doug have both pitted now. Doug going for a longer strategy to Algari. And they all are going to catch up to the safety car now. And Vicar and Glue are both pitting now. So there's going to be a bit of stacking up here from the 2 Williams. And Mr. Wiggles is just going to catch up to the safety car now. So we'll see if it might not be in this lap, because we've got 2 people pitting. And Algari and Doug both have not caught up to this field. There'll probably be one more lap of this, I think. But we'll have to wait and see. So Salty Stevens really will not be happy at the moment, because he wanted no safety cars to try and make up these moves. But now this is ruining his tyres so much more quickly than the likes of the mediums and especially the hards. As we are going to have another lap under the safety car, as Algari still and Glue have still not caught up to the back of this field. But I'm sure after this lap we will be underway. So at the moment your top 10 are Mr. Wiggles is currently P1, Mindful Wasp is P2, Salty Stevens is P3, Madge is P4, Mr. Potwash P5, 6th is Energy Dan, 7th is Viva, Gandalf is now P8, Filthy Ghost is now P9, and VFX rounds out the top 10 in the Mercedes. Also on them hard tyres, so the hard tyres actually not doing a bad job at all. As Algari is now caught up to the back of this field, as these drivers are just trying to get their tyres warmed up. Mindful Wasp nearly overtaking Mr. Wiggles. As just to confirm as well, it is a tight 29 lap race tonight. So after this lap, we'll be on lap 5. never who you want to crash into either, is it? Your own teammate, if them two did get damage from each other. Have to wait and see what happened with the two Aston Martins. Unfortunately, they are out of this race now, and the safety car is in this lap. So Mr. Wiggles, he's going pretty quickly at the moment, but he will start holding up the back of the pack surely soon, because the safety car does need to get away. He is just nice and chilling, just trying to get his tyres warmed up a bit, and then he will go at some point. And how well can Mindful Wasp keep up with him? As I believe he has gone. Yep, he has gone. And Mindful Wasp has actually done really well. Caught up to the back of him, and he's got a good chance here down in this next straight to have a go. Who has got the quicker car down the straight? Can Mindful Wasp keep on the back of him round these tight corners? Salty Stevens just kind of already struggling. He's got Madge right on the back of him here. We're going to go on board with that because, again, Salty Stevens just not having a great first couple laps, couple corners here. And Mindful Wasp actually getting really close to Mr. Wiggles as well. But Madge has taken P3. Has he though? Or Salty Stevens? Salty Stevens just about keeps it. So Madge now down in P4 again. But Madge is going to have another chance at this. And he will make the move. So Madge up to P3 in the Alpine. Salty Stevens still having a go at him. But Madge blocks that off, and or does he? They nearly collide, and Salty Stevens does back out of it in the end. He probably picked up a warning there as well, unfortunately for him. And Energy Dan now getting involved in this battle. We're going to go to Viva as well, who's caught up to Mr. Potwash. Filthy Ghost catching up to Viva as well. There's a bit of a train forming here behind Madge, who obviously was having that battle with Salty Stevens. As Doug now is catching up to Widget for P11. As there is going to be a four-way battle here for this next corner. The two Williams drivers trying to go to it, and Doug has lost out massively here. Just didn't have that straight line speed. And Filthy Ghost has taken Mr. Potwash, and so has Viva. And Madge also lost out to Salty Stevens as well. So Madge now back down into P4. Mindful Wasp still right on the back of Mr. Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles can't get out this DRS zone at the moment. And DRS now is enabled. So we didn't actually have DRS. So I forgot we had the safety car. So DRS is now enabled, and Mr. Wiggles is going to be in a lot of trouble here to keep this P1 from Mindful Wasp. Let's see what he can do. Can he get close enough to overtake him down this straight? Again, this is a great chance to overtake, but how quick is Mr. Wiggles' car? He hasn't got close enough here. Mindful Wasp is going to have to stay behind. Viva has taken Energy down for P5. And now he'll be trying to get to the back of Madge. Viva flying on them hards at the moment. Mindful Wasp now, can he have a go at him into this next corner? No, he has to stay behind. Madge has actually taken Salty Stevens for P3 as well. We're going to go to VFX, who is fighting with Glue for P10. I think Glue just took that position from VFX. As Viva sets a new fastest lap on them hards. Really enjoying them hards at the moment. Filthy Ghost now right behind Energy Dan. Filthy Ghost now, will he have a go into this next corner, or will he wait till the straight? He's going around the outside. And does he make the move count? He does. So Filthy Ghost up to P6. Viva now, can he catch up to Salty Stevens? Obviously all these drivers except for Madge do have DRS. They have a 3-second lead as well, the top two from Madge. 3.8 seconds I should say. I think Madge is about to lose P3 again to Salty Stevens, and Viva now is getting involved as well. It could be 3 wide here. Salty Stevens tries around the outside. Madge cuts that off. These three really battling hard for P3, and Filthy Ghost now getting involved in this as well. How long will them softs last? How long will Salty Stevens wait until he goes in for either the mediums or the hards? Because the hards don't seem like a bad tie. Viva is doing really well on them. Seeing he has set the fastest lap of the race. Madge is really going to struggle here to keep these drivers behind. Salty Stevens has actually gone for the move early. And who got the DRS? That is the question. Madge goes back past Salty Stevens. They're going to be 4 wide here possibly down this straight, because I think Filthy Ghost is also going to get involved. Viva now up to P3. They're 4 wide pretty much going into this next corner. Viva and Salty Stevens battling really hard for this P3. Mr. Wiggles has actually lost out to P1 as well from Mindful Wasp. Missed that. And Mindful Wasp now up to P1. Filthy Ghost takes Salty Stevens. So Madge has gone from P3 to P6, and Salty Stevens went from P4 to P5. And Madge has actually just taken Salty Stevens. Salty Stevens had a problem because he has lost out to Energy Dan as well, and he has got Gandalf right on the back as well of him. I think he might have damage, you know. Is he coming into the pits? He is, so it depends if he got damage there. Salty Stevens picks up a 3-second time limit with multiple warns as well, so I thought that was a bit harsh. Mr. Wiggles needs to stay in that second to get that DRS. A lot of battling at the front of this race at the moment. We're going to go to Vicar though, because the Vicar is right behind VFX now. There is a caution in Sector 1, and there is a massive crash. VFX is out of this race. I'm not sure if there was contact between the Vicar and VFX, but we have a full course safety car. So I'm pretty sure that will bring in all the mediums. Does Viva pit? Does he go for a two-stop strategy? Doesn't really help Viva this safety car. I think it's got to be a 2-stopper now for him. But VFX in the Mercedes is out of this race. I'm not sure if there was contact with the Vicar. They were obviously very close to each other. Let's see if Mindful Wasp is coming in. And so is Mr. Wiggles. Viva is also coming in. Everyone will be coming in. The Doug might not come in. Nope, Doug is also coming in. Glue has stayed out. Glue is one of the only drivers to stay out. Someone else is staying out as well. The Vicar. So the two Williams are staying out. And Mindful Wasp is coming out now with Mr. Wiggles. So the two Williams are going to be leading this race. Everyone else has now pitted. Just while we are at this safety car, the football scores at the moment are Forest 0, Arsenal 0, still 0-0 in that game. 62 minutes played. Fulham Everton is still 0-0. It's half time in the Luton Brighton game, and Luton are still 3-0 up in that game. Palace have pulled a goal back, and now Palace 2, Sheffield United 2 at half time. And Newcastle are currently 2-0 up against Aston Villa. Aston Villa have not lost at home for a very long time. So at the moment, Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 2. And Fabian Schär has scored both of these goals for Newcastle. So as I've also just seen what has happened to Aston Martins, and unfortunately there was nothing either of them could do really. Hybrid had some sort of problem. He either spun the car and he was just stuck in the middle of the track, and unfortunately he did not ghost, and Angry Badger had nowhere to go, and he just unfortunately crashed into Hybrid. So again, very unlucky for the pair of them, as Glue has actually pitted, and Salty Stevens is now down in P15, so he must have pitted again. He has. He's gone for a two-stopper. Did he have damage and they didn't change the wing? So we have the Vicar is the only person to stay out on used tyres. Everyone has caught up now, so I'm sure the safety car will be in this lap. Everyone is on the hards except for the Vicar, who's on used mediums. Viva on brand new mediums, with Doug on new mediums, Glue on new mediums, and Salty Steven on new mediums. Salty Stevens is the first to pick up a penalty as well. Your position changes as well at the moment. The Vicar is up 13 positions. Not sure how long he's going to be able to hold that though. Viva is up 3, Energy Dan is up 4, and Algari's up 7. Your biggest drops, unfortunately for them, is Salty Stevens is down 11, and Gandalf currently down 6 positions. But again, anything can change, as the Vicar is just going to wait to try to get a bit of a gap from Mindful Wasp. I do worry for the Vicar though. He's got some really quick cars behind him who are on much newer tyres. The Vicar got some good pace though, and he's not going to be the easiest to overtake, but on them used mediums he's going to struggle, as Mindful Wasp already having a look into turn 1. Mr. Wiggles goes really wide into that first corner, and he's going to have Viva right behind him now. As Mindful Wasp has just taken the lead of this race. Who has got the quicker car down the straight though? That's the question. Mindful Wasp, sorry, not Mindful Wasp. The Vicar pushed Mr. Wiggles out wide there, and Mr. Wiggles is going to lose out massively here, as Vicar is now down in P5, and Viva has gone up to P2. Salty Stevens up to P12 now, just taking PVR widget. So much happening on track at the moment. I'm trying to keep as much information as possible, but Filthy Ghost now right behind his teammate. Mr. Wiggles did lose out to Viva, but Viva will probably have to pit again at some point. Madge now right behind the Vicar. The Vicar really struggling to keep these people behind. Madge now goes round the outside of this corner. Going to have a lot better traction, and I think he has got that position. He has. And now Mr. Potwash and Doug right behind the Vicar as well. Doug has actually taken Mr. Potwash for P7. And the Vicar does hold that position. We're going to go up to the front though, because Viva is catching Mindful Wasp really quickly here. And he is now right on the back of him. Viva having a superb race at the moment. He's looked really quick this race, the whole way through. So he's got a great chance here to win this race. The only problem is I don't think he's going to get these mediums to the end. Gandalf picks up a 3-second time penalty. DRS now is enabled. The top four are separated by about a second. So Filthy Ghost picks up a 3-second time penalty, which is massive. This is really going to affect his race now, Filthy Ghost. And he went really wide there into turn one. Mr. Wiggles just catched up to the back. And Viva, can he get close to Mindful Wasp here? We're going to go down to Salty Stevens though at the moment, because there is a massive battle here. Salty Stevens has just taken glue, I think. No, he's still behind. Or is he now behind Vicar? So he's just taken both Williams now up to P10. And Viva is fighting with Mr. Wiggles for P2. And Mr. Wiggles will keep that position. So now Mr. Wiggles up to P2. And now these three really close again into Sector 3. These hards look like a really good tyre to be on tonight. People look like they're really enjoying the hard tyres. Mr. Wiggles goes really wide there into turn one. And he will lose a bit of time there to Mindful Wasp. So they're all going to have DRS except for Mindful Wasp. But Mindful Wasp is just getting that big enough gap down this straight. Filthy Ghost now. Can he get ahead of Viva? Is there contact between Mr. Wiggles and Viva? I don't think there is. And Viva has a really good exit there. And surely he can get that position into the next corner. He can't. Mr. Wiggles flying. And can he get past Mindful Wasp? Viva might lose out to Filthy Ghost here as well. They're all side by side here. It's brilliant racing. And Filthy Ghost does get up to P3 now. Madge now just can't keep to the back of these four. It is Red Bull versus AlphaTauri versus the Alfa Romeo here. Obviously, Filthy Ghost does have that penalty. I'm not too sure how the other people's warnings are looking. We're going to go back to Salty Stevens, though. Hopefully I don't miss anything at the start, but Salty Stevens caught up to the back of Energy Dan now. As Gandalf takes Mr. Potwash for P6. And Doug has also taken Mr. Potwash for P7. Something has happened at the top. The top two are battling once again. And I think Mr. Wiggles will have this position. No, he doesn't. He can't get side by side with Mindful Wasp. He has to back out of it. So, as Salty Stevens and Energy Dan are both out of this race, they have had a massive collision. Not too sure if it was both together. But we have a full course safety car. And I'm pretty sure Viva will come in. But I think the others will probably stay out, you know. Michael Wasp, no, they're all coming in. They are all coming in for another set. But it's going to be medium, surely. Softs aren't going to get to the end. So, yeah, the mediums are going on for the drivers. Does anyone jump? The person who's going to really be affected by this is Filthy Ghost because his teammate got in before him. So how many positions has he lost? He's lost out to Madge. Filthy Ghost has lost out to Madge. Mr. Potwash, Glue and PVR have stayed out. But that is massive for Filthy Ghost, who has really, really lost out on this pit stop. So he has got the pace to try and get ahead. As Mindful Wasp somehow has gone up to P2 from Glue and PVR. But I'm okay. Which is really going to help Mindful Wasp. As the Arsenal are now 2-0 up against Forest, so they finally, after 80% possession, they have finally scored 2 goals against Nottingham Forest. Fulham Everton is still 0-0. Luton are still 3-0 up. Palace, Sheffield United is 2-2, and Newcastle is still 2-0 up against Villa. But this really helps Mindful Wasp because Mr. Wiggles, Viva, Madge and Filthy Ghost have got 2 drivers to get past, to get close to Mindful Wasp, and he could be ahead of Mr. Potwash. But for some reason, Glue is now ahead. Okay, Glue has pitted, so we are back to where we were. Glue was just getting into the pits. So now there is one driver in between Mindful Wasp and Mr. Wiggles, and that is PVR Widget, who is on a set of hards, who's obviously going to the end with the likes of Mr. Potwash as well. Glue going on to a set of softs, so he's trying to get them to the end. So tonight we have lost both Mercedes, both Aston Martins, and the only Haas. So we have lost 3 teams tonight, unfortunately, for them. Again, I'm not too sure what happened between Salty Stevens and Energy Dan, but they both DNF'd pretty much at the same time. So but before that safety car, them 4 were battling tooth and nail. Like the top 4 every lap was just immense. But can anyone get past Mindful Wasp? He's got a really quick car, especially down the straight. And he's actually drove really, really well tonight. So the safety car will be in this lap. As Mr. Potwash is just holding up the pack now. Mr. Potwash just waiting. When will he make his move? Mindful Wasp right on the back. He'll want to get this move done as quickly as possible. Mr. Potwash has gone. Mindful Wasp has a great start, and he is going to have a great chance into this next straight. As Viva has actually just taken Mr. Wiggles for P3. As there is contact, and Doug is out of this race, and so is Gandalf. Will we have another full course safety car? So we have another safety car, and we are down to 11 drivers now. There was PVR Widget has obviously had an issue because he is now down in P11. He has lost his front wing. I'm not too sure what has happened. I'm sure it will say in the chat at some point. But Mr. Potwash does keep his lead. So Mindful Wasp is now P2, Viva P3, and the two Red Bulls P4 and 5. Algari is P6 in the Alpine. The two Williams of the Vicar and Glue, 7th and 8th. Beast is 9th. 10th is Madge. And 11th is PVR Widget. But Mr. Potwash is still leading this race. Tijani 036 says, damn. I guess that could be... Is that Gandalf? No, that's not Gandalf. That's... Wait. Is that my Alpine Constructors teammate? It is. Obviously saying damn about... I'm not too sure. As Gandalf has left the session, unfortunately for him. Mr. Potwash does come into pitch, and so does Filthy Ghost. So Filthy Ghost go into a set of softs now. It will get him to the end now because there's only 8 laps left, but can he make up 5 places to get back up to the top 3? That is the question. As in the Discord chat, Doug just said it wasn't my day. And Algari just said, I didn't see you. Just a blink of a sec. So I guess there was contact between Gandalf, Doug and Algari, it seems like. The safety car will probably go round one more time because PVR has not caught up yet. As we are now down to 11 drivers tonight. I didn't think Abu Dhabi was so disastrous to get DNF racers. But we are now down to 11. Luton are now 4-0 up against Brighton, and Adebayo has got his hat-trick as well. As the safety car will be in this lap, as everyone has caught up. Obviously has not confirmed that yet, but pretty sure it will be. And we will have about 6 laps left, 6 or 7 laps left of this race. So the safety car will be in this lap, as we have confirmed. The Vicar and Glue, for some reason, are, I think, possibly switch positions. I'm not too sure, but as Mindful Wasp now just keeping these 2 drivers behind. I think there's going to be a 3-way battle for this race win. Can't see Algari getting involved in this. I might be wrong. Could be completely wrong. But I think the top 3 have got that extra pace tonight compared to the others. As Mindful Wasp now just backing up the pack. And Mindful Wasp, when will he make his move? I think he's gone. He has. Mindful Wasp has gone, and he has gone really well. And Filthy Ghost is out of this race. And do we have another safety car? Filthy Ghost is out, and I think we're racing. We're racing. So Viva caught up to Mindful Wasp pretty well, and Algari already 2 seconds behind these 3. Again, these 3, I think, are battling for this race win. And Filthy Ghost is out, which is huge for the championship. This could be massive for Viva. Viva and Mindful Wasp side by side here, going into the corner. They touch. Who is going to get to the next corner in the lead? Mindful Wasp has just got that edge, and he will just about take that lead still. But it is great battling between these 3. Again, this could be decided by a penalty. This could be decided from the actual racing. We're going to wait and see, and we have got 6 laps left here now. Obviously DRS is still not enabled. Mr. Wiggles trying to get on the back of these 2. He's just about stayed ahead. Glue has also retired. We have a caution in sector 1. We're now down to 9 drivers. We have a caution. I don't think we're going to get another safety car. We've already had the 4, so as Viva catching up to the back of Mindful Wasp. I'm going to have to stay with this battle because it is the closest battle at the moment. The Vicar has actually just taken Algari for P4 as well at some point. PVR Widget actually catching up to Algari as well. PVR Widget on them new softs. And PVR Widget will take that position. So PVR Widget up to P5. We are going to have DRS after this lap. So can Viva get past Mindful Wasp? So we are going to have DRS right now. Mindful Wasp sets a new fastest lap. And DRS is now enabled. Beast also caught up to the back of Algari. And Beast now, can he get past him? The top three separated by about 1.1 seconds. Madge now goes quickest. As we're just going to stay on board with this at the moment to see if Beast does make the move on Algari. I know there is a battle still going up at front, but we're just going to see if Beast does make this move, and he does. So we're now going to go back down to Viva, who's going to go around the long way. He's not going to be able to make the move this time. Can he get close enough into the next DRS zone? I know it's right round to the next straight bit, but he needs to try and keep as close as he can till then. Mindful Wasp, though, defending really well here. These three, different level tonight in Abu Dhabi. They've got a really good race strategy, these three. Mr. Wiggles just keeping on the back of these. Again, Viva is the one who's closest to Mindful Wasp. He is a lot closer here, though. He's only 3 tenths. He was about 6 tenths last time, so he's a lot closer. Can Viva have a go into this next corner? We're going to go on board with Viva here. Is he going to make a move this one, or is he going to wait till the next straight? That is the question. He's going to have a go. They're going to be side by side here. He goes long, Viva, and he has to defend really aggressive. Can Mindful Wasp retake this lead? He's going to have the DRS. Viva is going to have to defend really tough here, and he's going to lose out the position. So Viva, he just went too deep into that first corner, and Viva has now lost out to Mindful Wasp once again. And now Mr. Wiggles really getting involved in this. Was he waiting for this to happen so he could use his fresher tyres? I know they're not fresh on the lap wise, but he might have not damaged them so much compared to these two. Again, we are now 3 laps left of this race. But again, this is now, these three are the closest battle because there's quite a big gap between the others. Viva, bit too far behind this time, unfortunately for him. Mr. Wiggles closer to Viva than Viva is to Mindful Wasp. 1.1, 1.2 seconds separate these 3 drivers. Viva caught up to the back of Mindful Wasp. He just needs to have a good exit here. We're going to have a go on board with him just for a second. So Mindful Wasp defends the inside, of course. And Viva just can't get close enough. And he has to stay behind once more. We're just going to go on board with Beast at the moment, who's actually caught up to the back of PVR Widget. And these two are actually catching up to Vicar as well. So battles all along the field still. The 2 tier 3 drivers of PVR Widget and Beast now currently P5 and 6. So they're doing an outstanding job. even though there is only 9 drivers, but still getting up to P5, P6, really well done to them too. Madge picks up a 3 seconds time penalty for multiple warnings. So there's a bit of a bigger gap now between these 3. Mindful Wasp be really, really happy about that. Be interested to see what their ERS are all like. How much has Viva got and how much has... As there is a caution in Sector 2. Not going to worry about that too much. As Viva has to go around the long way once more. They're side by side again, but Mindful Wasp defending really well. And Viva does have to stay behind. Mr. Wiggles now out of that 1 second DRS zone. So this is going to be a clear fight, I think, from Mindful Wasp to Viva. Filthy Ghost has left the session. As Sheng Glue says, come on SFR, get them. I don't think he's going to get anyone today. I think he's going to finish P7. So Viva's got one more chance here. He's got this straight and the next. Otherwise, Mindful Wasp just needs to keep it on the track and he will win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But again, this straight, he's half a second behind Mindful Wasp. He has a really good exit out of that corner. He's 2 tenths. He's 1 tenth. He's side by side now. He's going to have the inside line. Does he brake early enough? He takes a much better line there. Mindful Wasp is going to have a better exit though. Viva, he's going to have to defend really aggressive because Mindful Wasp is surely going to have a really good exit into this next corner. Mindful Wasp goes round the outside. Who's going to... Mindful Wasp, I think he's got it, you know. He does. Mindful Wasp, outstanding driving, retakes the lead from Viva. Viva will come home in P2. Mindful Wasp, what a drive from the Alfa Romeo. He is going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Viva comes home P2 and Mr. Wiggles rounds out the top 3. Outstanding from all 3 of them drivers. The Vicar will finish P4 with Beast P5. 6th will go to Widget. 7th will go to Madge. 8th will go to Mr. Potwash and 9th will go to Algari. I don't think, the penalties won't matter. So, as Glue says, cover the inside. He tried, but Mindful Wasp still went round the outside. It was a great move from Mindful Wasp. Again, what a drive from all 3 of them because they just trusted each other on every corner. There was not much knock-in. None of them got damaged, so it was really good to watch. Doug says, "Wow, yeah, it was unbelievable from them 3." But fair play to Mindful Wasp, who's actually taken the race win. Viva takes P2. Again, I think he started P7th or 8th, so he'll be really happy with P2, but he wanted that race win, surely. But the Alfa Romeo of Mindful Wasp does take the race win. He started P3, I think. I think he did P3 or P4, but he does take the race win from Viva, and Mr. Wiggles does take P3. It'd be disappointing, Mr. Wiggles, because he did qualify at P1. But P3, it's not bad. It's still on the podium. Look, as you can see, 1.5 seconds separated the top 3. So, outstanding drive. And then 4th was the Vicar. 5th was Beast. 6th was PVR Widget. 7th was Madge. 8th was Mr. Potwash. And 9th was Algari. And then, unfortunately, Glue, Filthy Ghost, Gandalf, Doug, Salty Stevens, Energy Dan, VFX, Angry Badger and Hybrid all DNF'd from the race tonight, so they won't be picking up any points. But once again, Mindful Wasp, what an outstanding drive. And Miss Viva, Mr. Wiggles, and when you were involved with Filthy Ghost, most enjoyable racing I've seen in a long time in UFRL. Like, the battling was outstanding. Like, it was so close, but the room you gave to each other was a joy to watch. And yeah, fair play to all you 4 drivers. And again, the driving from everyone else really entertaining. From Madge, he'd made some really good overtakes. Doug and Mr. Potwash and who was it? Not too sure, but you had some really good races, as really good moments as well with the Williams. That was it, with Glue and the Vicar. So, but again, Mindful Wasp does take the race win tonight. We have been with UFRL. We have been Tier 2 Abu Dhabi, and I am Sainty93. It's been a pleasure to commentate on tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for Tier 3, but again, Tier 2 will be back next Tuesday. Okay, good night, everybody.